What's up? Welcome back to the Metalhead Car Show. So a little while ago, I did a video ranking every single Iron Maiden album opener. You guys seem to like it, so here's the obvious next part, and this is ranking every single Iron Maiden album closer. But before we get into the video, I just want to say this channel has rapidly approached that 1,000 subscriber mark. So if you enjoy what you see, stick around, because there's going to be a lot more Maiden content coming up in the future. But for now, let's get right into it. Starting off in 17th place with The Unbeliever from The X Factor. Now, I do think The Unbeliever is a cool song. There's a lot of really neat parts to it, and it is just such a unique song for Iron Maiden. But I'm putting it in last place purely because I do think there are songs like Sign of the Cross that could do the job better. And I don't think The Unbeliever is particularly the strongest song. Now, I do think it would have been really cool to see this song in like the encore of the X Factor tour, but that's not how it worked. Generally a really cool song, but on this list it is on the bottom. 16th place from Brave New World, and that is A Thin Line Between Love and Hate.
There's a thin line between love and hate. Why to divide that you can?
Now, that's going to be an unpopular opinion because this song is generally beautiful. Not just is it beautiful, but it has like 4 Dave Murray guitar solos in it, and it has some of the best work from Bruce Dickinson. So, why is it on the bottom? Same deal as The Unbeliever. I don't think it's the strongest song in the world, and I don't know if it was the best song to be the closer on the album. I was talking to my buddy about this a little while ago, and one thing I mentioned was Out of the Silent Planet could have done a better job as a closer. It was a closer on the tour whenever they played it. So maybe. And despite I do think it's an awesome song, I do think it's one of the weaker songs on the album, all things considered. I think it's a little bit slow for how long it is, and I think it's one of the weaker closer songs, period. 15th place, and off the Virtual 11 album, Como Este Amigo. I've said it here before many times, we do not hate on Blaze Bayley here at the Metalhead Car Show. I do think Como Este Amigo is a pretty cool song, and much like The Unbeliever, I do think it should have been used in the Virtual 11 tour. And despite I do believe it was the right choice to be the closing song on the Virtual 11 album, I do think it is one of the weakest closing songs Maiden's done. Now, I'm not going to drag on about this because we have 14 more songs to get through, but on Blaze Bayley's album, The War Within Me, he wrote a song called Every Storm Ends, and I always found it had real Como Este Amigo vibes. But that song was a lot heavier, it had a lot of cool guitar work, and it just had the balls that Como Este Amigo didn't. Why am I bringing this up? Because I do think the song has really good bones to it, I just don't think it's the strongest song. 14th place, and from No Prayer for the Dying, Mother Russia.
Mother Russia, how are you sleeping? Middle winter cold winds blow from the trees, the snowflakes drip.
I'm going to stop saying it because I think all these songs could have been played live, so we're going to move past that part from here on out. But Mother Russia is a really unique song because I think it has some really cool guitar parts in it, and it's neat to hear just Yannick going solo on a song. But I think of any Iron Maiden song, this might have the least amount of vocals in it, especially since it's not like 2.5 minutes long like Future Real, Another Life, or Twilight Zone. I do like the song. I do think it was the right song to be a closer. I just don't think it's a very strong song. 13th place, and this is going to contradict what I've said in previous videos, but Empire of the Clouds. There's a video I did a while ago, and I was looking at what song is going to replace Alexander the Great as the best song Maiden has never played live. Now that it's being played live on the Future Past tour, it no longer has that title, so what's it going to be? And truthfully, I think it's going to be Empire of the Clouds. I think this is a phenomenal song. So what's the problem with Empire of the Clouds? First off, it's pretty goddamn long. Like, it is 18 minutes long, but frankly, it's really long, and I don't know if it was the right pick for the closing track of the album. I do think it needs to be on the album. I do think it needs to exist. I think it's an excellent song, despite it's an 18-minute song that only has solos from Adrian and Dave, which I find just that a little bit weird. But honestly, I don't know if I can confidently say that the album would be better if Book of Souls wasn't the closing track. Excellent song, beautiful song, but since I have the thought of, is it the right song to close the album off? I don't know if it really deserves to be any higher than this. 12th place, and no one's gonna like this opinion, but Iron Maiden.
Whoa, whoa.
This is a song I thought would be a lot higher on my list because it is like the closing song. It's Iron Maiden. But despite it has a pretty phenomenal legacy to it, and it's the only Iron Maiden song to never be dropped from a set, I think there are so many stronger songs than Iron Maiden. And despite I do think it was likely the perfect song to close the album off with, there's just stronger material. In 11th place, off Seventh Son and Seventh Son, Only the Good Die Young. This one's a little bit tricky because I actually really like Only the Good Die Young, and it was in my list of potential best songs that Maiden's never played live. It even has a bass guitar solo. But I'm putting it kind of in the middle because as much as I do think it's a awesome song, and it was definitely the right closing song for the album, compared to a lot of the other closing songs that have these epic arrangements and they're long and really brings you through this incredible story of the song. Only the Good Die Young just doesn't have a lot of those epic features to it, and despite I do think it is great, I don't think it's the best. 10th place, Drifter. I love Drifter. Iron Maiden, god damn it, pull the song out. I think Drifter is like one of the most fun Iron Maiden songs ever. As much as I love Iron Maiden, clearly, I don't find a lot of their stuff to be super fun. So the fact that I'm willing to give it that title is something special. And despite I do think it has that special factor to it, and it's absolutely the right closing song to the Killers album, it's going a little bit down because I do think there are more technical songs. There's more songs that are a bit better written, and there's a few more songs that I think are just a bit stronger. Although, super fun song. 9th place, Fear of the Dark. Now I went on record in saying that Fear of the Dark is my least favorite album, and frankly, if Maiden dropped Fear of the Dark from the set list, I would be completely fine with that. It's likely never going to happen, but I'd be completely fine with it. But that's not what it's about. So why is it kind of in the middle of the pack? Well, Fear of the Dark is a excellent song. It is absolutely the right closing track to the album. And it's in this weird boat of, I'm going to sit here and do nothing but praise it. I don't actually have a single bad thing to say about it. I'm just tired of the song. I don't think there's anything super special about it. I do understand why it stayed in the set forever, but at the same time, I could probably go a very long time without hearing this song ever again. Frankly, over my own personal view of the song, I should probably put it lower on the list, but since it has that legacy to it, and since I know deep down it is an excellent song, I'm putting it here. 8th place, and for peace of mind, To Tame a Land. To Tame a Land, the Dune song. But unlike Dune, I intend on enjoying To Tame a Land the moment I turn this video off. To Tame a Land is really cool. It has such heavy guitar riffs for what Iron Maiden was doing at the time. It has some incredible vocal work, and it has these really cool Dave Murray lead rhythm parts, which up to that point we weren't really seeing anything like that from Iron Maiden. Also gotta talk about the solos. The solos are done really well, but at the same time, the solos are so restrained. I think both can go so much crazier on these solos, but they dialed it back and they just sound perfect for them doing that. I think it's unfortunate that the song was left somewhere back in time. I always thought this song should have been pulled out on the Early Days tour and the Legacy of the Beast tour, actually. Unfortunately, it didn't. But To Tame a Land has such a unique vibe to it that not many other Iron Maiden songs do. But at the same time, despite I do think it's unique as it is, there's some songs that sort of live in my memory better than this one. And some songs I just want to go back to more frequently than To Tame a Land. And in 7th place, from the Dance of Death album, Journeyman.
I know what I want, I'll say what I want, and no one can take it away.
Journeyman had this super cool place in Iron Maiden's history. Now, around 2003, right before the Dance of Death tour happened, Iron Maiden wasn't totally sure how much longer they had left in them. Not that they were kind of getting tired of it or they were overdoing Iron Maiden, but they really weren't sure of how the fans, the media, really loved them. And funny enough, it was the Dance of Death tour that actually turned their opinions around on that, because it was the first tour in years they had a young audience coming back out to the shows, and I think it was the first time they did a headlining show with in excess of 50,000 people attending. So, enough of Dance of Death. Journeyman. So Journeyman is the first and only all-acoustic Iron Maiden song ever. And my wife actually compared it to sort of an older Celtic vibe to it, because despite it is very much different, it does have that anger and that aggression while still being this beautiful song. As beautiful as the song is, this song was Iron Maiden's middle finger to everyone who said metal bands are irrelevant, metal's dead, and these bands are just a dinosaur from the past still barely living on. And I also think that's really cool, because there's really not many songs like that that Iron Maiden does. But also, due to Iron Maiden's pretty past that, and they know their place, and they know their fans, and other fans trying to keep coming back, this song doesn't really ever need to come back out again, so it might be in a future video. But it's a phenomenal song anyway. Why isn't it any higher? Because there's some better ones. In 6th place off the 6th Iron Maiden album, Alexander the Great. It's Alexander the Great, like what can I say? Alexander the Great was holding this phenomenal legacy to it of the greatest song Iron Maiden's never played. Until the Future Past tour. And this song almost seemed like the future of Iron Maiden. It was so ahead of its time, where you have some guitar riffs that almost seem like they're written by Yannick Gers due to they have this Irish dance feel to them. It has a lot of unorthodox guitar riffs for Iron Maiden, both then and now, and it just lands in such a cool, special place in Iron Maiden's history and musical catalog at that. Why isn't it any higher though? Despite I do think this is brilliant, there's just other songs I simply would like more. I can't wait to hear this song when Maiden comes through Canada in the fall, but honestly, in regards of this list of songs, there is better. Time to upset people. In 5th place from Maiden's most recent album, Hell on Earth. I think Hell on Earth has so many just goddamn cool guitar parts, and has arguably the coolest Iron Maiden chorus ever. Bruce does such an awesome job with that, and again, I can't wait to hear this song live. I think Maiden didn't use that Infinity outro to it, and maybe the intro was shortened a little bit because there's 3 minutes between the song starting and vocals starting. So maybe if those two were tightened up a little bit, it'd probably be higher up, and I think the song would be a bit better. But honestly, the song's awesome. I love it so much. I'm so happy it's in the set list. Hoping it stays there. 4th place, When the Wild Winds Blow.
Have you seen what they said on the news today? Have you seen what they said about us all?
Now, When the Wild Winds Blow came out on the Final Frontier album in 2010, and I've just been so into this song recently. It has so many cool guitar parts and so many awesome like driving riffs. It also has the first sweep in an Iron Maiden guitar solo. If I'm wrong about that, let me know. I'd actually love to know. A twisted tale about love and apocalypse that lands into this excellent 11-minute epic from Maiden. Why isn't it any higher? Because there's 3 stronger. In 3rd place, and my favorite song ever, The Legacy. So The Legacy was the closing track on the Matter of Life and Death album, and as I said, this is my favorite song ever. What gets me about it is the fact that when Yannick wrote this, it has the kind of traditional Yannick writing style, which you see on Dreams of Mirrors, you see on Dance of Death, you see it on The Talisman, you see it on The Book of Souls. Like, this is Yannick's jam. What gets me about it is, well, along with liking that writing style, you have one part around the ending where there's 3 different guitar solos going on. Bruce has these excellent vocal parts. It's so heavy in the middle of the song, and there's no chorus in it. They made this song flow so naturally and so elegantly without even putting in a chorus, and I don't think it needs it. It's not lacking anything. And despite I don't have a single bad thing to say about the Legacy, I couldn't put it above the next 2. In second place, Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. This is one I don't even know if I need to talk about. We all know Ancient Mariner. We all know it's awesome. So, but why is it not first? I think it's just because as much as I believe Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner is one of the best Iron Maiden songs, period, I do think it doesn't quite hit as hard as the song that is in first place. It had some incredible riffs, it had some incredible solos, it had some excellent vocal work from Bruce. And they did such a cool job of integrating some of the original Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner poem into their song. But it's in second place purely because I don't think it hits quite as hard as Hallowed Be Thy Name. I remember, it's like 2009, it's Halloween, and I think I'm about to go trick-or-treating for like the last time. And as a way for it to get dark, I'm just kind of still going through a lot of Maiden. I'm still discovering a lot of these songs. And I get to Hallowed Be Thy Name, let's listen to the entire thing. I think that's also when I discovered Power Slave for the first time. But I'm just kind of blown away by like the riffs and the storytelling and the vocal work and these guitar solos. And it ends on such a high note, and it stuck with me forever. There are some people who claim the song is overrated, but they can go back to their parents' basement. It is awesome. So that's my ranking of every single Iron Maiden closing track from worst to best. I want to know, what would you think? How would you rank Iron Maiden's closing songs from worst to best, best to worst? I don't know, you pick. And are there any opinions you absolutely agree with me or disagree with me with? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, subscribe if you enjoyed what you've seen. I post on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, and I'll see you later.